In a world where repetition thrives, let's stand amidst the whirlwind of conformity, where echoes of "this is how it's always been done" or "how it should be done" fill the air.
But here's the truth. The status quo has never been our or your canvas. Wasting time sitting in an office or commuting for 8 hours or more a day isn't what we are designed for, or even what's healthy. It's time to challenge the rhythm that confines us. To defy the uniformity that masks our individuality.
Today, let's declare that the crowd is not our compass. That you choose authenticity over imitation, uniqueness over uniformity.
In a world where our rights can be taken, our dreams can be stolen, and the system demands we walk a line designed by someone else, let's refuse to be shaped by a mold we didn't create.
So let the world witness our defiance, our audacious stride away from the ordinary. Let us break free from the chains of supposed to be and embrace the exhilaration journey of meant to be.
Probably you've been following us here for a while on YouTube, and you know us as that family that sails around the world, that lives close to nature and has an adventurous life.
The boat just moves by wind. Still find it magical that you can sail around the world like this. We are in a little bit challenging situation now. The engine stopped working.
It's we ran out of fuel of one fuel tank.
And maybe we do something with mindset and culture. But what you probably don't know is that we meticulously and strategically designed our businesses and lifestyle already in 2019. But what we haven't shared at all, and what we're gonna do today, is that how you can do this too, and what that will mean for you, your loved ones, and your life. So close your eyes for a moment and imagine waking up to a new day, a new dawn. The sun sets a golden hue across the world. A world where you are the architect and get to create whatever you desire. A world where you have deep and meaningful connections with the people around you and those that you love. Where you thrive and you live in abundance. A world that is filled every day in line with your desires. Where you live close to nature and in balance with her. Where you enjoy your life and time spent with loved ones. Where you get to fill your life with passion and fulfill your purpose. Where life is an ultimate form of self-expression and where you create what you truly desire. This is more than just a dream. It's a realm where you dance to the rhythms of your own heartbeats. Where you answer to the whispers of your true desires. It's a world where the canvas of your life becomes an exquisite tapestry woven with threads of purpose, raw adventure and boundless joy. A life where you wake up each morning with an unwavering sense of purpose. A life where you get to paint every brushstroke on that beautiful canvas. A life where you're not just a spectator, but the beautiful artist that creates this masterpiece of life. Your destiny.
I can already hear you think, how do I turn this vision into my own reality? How do I break free from my conditioning, my disempowering habits, my disempowering beliefs, the chains that are holding my back to start living my most desired life? To be totally honest, this is not about financial freedom. This is not about having enough money. This is not I'm being born in a different kind of country or waiting when your kids move out of the house to start living, let's say, the most desired life. No, this is about changing your mindset. challenging your disempowering habits and beliefs, embracing practices that connect you to your true essence. And you have to take action, because without taking action, you haven't decided anything.
So today we want to talk to you about which actionable steps you can take that will enable you to create that life you always dreamt about. How to master your mindset, connect to your inner core and create that life in line with your desires and deepest dreams.
No, this is about building a lifestyle. Not a dream business, not a dream job, not a dream house or a dream boat. This is about creating a lifestyle, what's truly in life with your truest and deepest desires. So the magic started! Welcome to the start of becoming a life artist.
And on top we will share with you how you can live a beautiful life as of now and how to bring purpose and meaning into your life. Otherwise the dream life is just an empty shell. We want your life to inspire not only you but also the people around you.
Yeah, so we share everything, our successes but also our failures, how we failed forward, how we learned, how we grow into this lifestyle, right?
What the quantum leaps were, what definitely the quantum leaps backwards were.
Yeah.
You will know everything behind the scene of the field degrees, of the company, of our lifestyle, everything.
So welcome to your journey to become a life artist too.
So where did this whole journey start? It's a good question. So yeah, when did it all start? And it's kind of embarrassing. You prepare yourself most part of your life up until then to step into a career, to step in a job, perform excellent, to make these huge promotions after promotion and excel. And for me that career was being a lawyer and ending up like a partner or a general manager of a beautiful firm. And I dedicated every second of my life towards that moment. I graduated cum laude in law. I got this beautiful job. I followed my partner to a city. He graduated a year before me, so I followed him to the city. And there I got a job at the biggest law firm in the region. And I thought I made it. I had this great partner, we had this beautiful house, we had 2 dogs, I was offered a fixed contract, I was making huge steps, I was winning cases, I was outperforming. And then suddenly, at this moment in time, it was a morning, I remember it very vividly, 6 a.m. in the morning, my alarm would go off. And it was one of those mornings again and I would wake up and my back was in tremendous pain. I have this weak spot in my back. And every time I have a lot of stress in my life that just pops up. And I remember that I couldn't move at all. So I was standing under the shower for like 30 minutes, running hot water over my back so that the tension of my muscle would release and I could actually be able to move again and to walk. And actually, that was not the first day that it happened. It was always going on for a couple of months. And I stepped on my bicycle and I was bicycling there. We were living in this beautiful part of the city with a lot of green and it was like a 20-minute trip to the office through this beautiful forest, and it was early in the morning, so the sun was casting this golden hue over the forest and there were these fresh smells you only have early in the morning when it's still humid. And at that moment I couldn't smell anything. I couldn't see the beauty. I couldn't enjoy the bicycle ride, nothing. I was just like a zombie bicycling. I remember it so vividly. And then just before the office, it's just like 2 minutes before, there is this huge crossroad with traffic lights. And it was red for me and my bicycle. So I was standing there. And if you're not from the Netherlands, in the Netherlands it's normal to bicycle everywhere. So I was standing there at that red light waiting, and it was early morning, almost no traffic, but then in the distance I could see a truck coming by, and it was like the bigger road would transcend into the smaller road where you need to reduce your speed and just after the traffic light. So it was pondering in quite heavily in a good speed, And it had a green light, so it had no intention yet of slowing down. And I remembered standing there on my black bicycle and thinking, what if I just did 2 steps forwards right now and the truck was really close by? What if my life ended at this very moment? And I didn't feel anything. And of course I didn't do it because I'm standing here today. But that moment I realized something had to change. And you could say it all started there, but that's not true. But for me, there the leverage really started to work on my own process of personal growth. And it's really funny because if I'm really honest, everything started way earlier with my youth already. My father struggles with depression even up until today. So as a young kid, I was always tremendously drawn to why are some people happy with having little to none, and those who have everything, millionaires, are feeling depressed. And always, even if I look back at those moments, I was always focused on others. And I forgot totally, and this is kind of weird because I had deep conversations, like when I was 13 years, my aunts and my uncles would compliment my parents that I could have such grown-up conversations with them about what brings happiness and asking them such intriguing questions. But if I look back now as a child, it was really weird because I was only asking the questions to them, and I was never actually stepping on that path of discovering things for myself. So my quest towards why are people happy with little to nothing and some with having no feeling depressed started in my youth. But my real journey of personal growth started from a need, from a necessity, from that moment that I was burned out, depressed, and was thinking about ending my life. At that moment I knew I needed to change something, and I felt ashamed and I felt guilt because I said to myself, I'll never want to be at a point in my life where my dad was. And now I was standing there feeling depressed, just like my dad. And then everything started. It was like a roller coaster. And when we're in suffering, we can do 3 things, right? We can ignore and blame, like I was doing for years, ignoring, blaming. It was all the fault of everybody else, that I hated my job and it cost me energy. It was the fault of my managers, everything. Or we can change circumstances. And that's what I did at that moment. I quitted my job and went to a different company. I left the whole lawyer scene behind. I stepped into this multinational and I was thriving there. And then the fun part started. And that's where my true calling started. I started to grow and change, not from a necessity or a need, but from a fun and energizing part, from wanting to explore, wanting to be more pure, more of myself. And then the whole journey started about what are my truest and deepest desires, because I really had no clue. And there and then the whole journey started of what it meant to be a true life artist. And so what does it mean to be a life artist? I think, to be honest, for everybody it means something different, but in essence it means that you live fully and truly in line with your desires, that you have a life filled with purpose and fulfillment, that you have adventures, that you create with all the knowledge and skills that are being given to you, and that you just follow flow and see what you can make out of this life, and that you don't focus on one facet or the other, but on all facets of life, on wealth, on love, on career, on business, on everything. I think one of the most important parts in this whole process is getting rid of your conditioning, and I had such trouble with that. I was so conditioned from a young age, and my biggest conditioning was that I was always busy with what other people might think of me and what their truest and deepest desires are. I totally forgot to look at my beautiful life and what my truest and deepest desires were. And it all originated in this one epical pivoting moment in my life, in my youth, when I started to remember things. And that's when we get imprints, when we develop beliefs and disempowering habits. And well, there's a whole journey of of conditioning starts. And for me, it was this one moment that my dad said to me, who I tremendously love and I'm extremely proud of, just like my mom, they are superhumans, like for every other kid. But my dad was in a depression, and he mentioned that he didn't love me. And for me, hearing that as a kid of 4 or 5 years old, and again at 6, 7 years, I couldn't relate that. I could not put that into perspective. For me, this was the truth. So I was not lovable. So what this strong belief was anchored in my whole being and everything that I did from that moment on. And I developed this empowering habit to always find out what my dad or anything else, everyone else for that matter in my life, would actually love and desire. And when I found that out, I was showing that off. And then I got recognition for showing that behavior, and then my limiting belief got even more acknowledged and stronger embodied in my system, and with that the behavioral pattern, the disempowering habit. And there it all started. I was so disconnected from who I was. So what does a life actually look like? And it's for everybody different. It's really about being so connected to your desires that everything you create is in line with it, that you play and have fun, not on one facet in your life, but in all facets, that you're ambitious and you define a new definition of ambition by itself because you put it in all levels of life, in your wealth, in your relationship, in your contribution, in your growth, in your spirituality, in your career and business. And for us, this means that we live quite a nomadic life, so we sail across the oceans. We travel in our Defender on top of the rooftop tent. We live in the mountains. We get to play and have fun. We have several businesses, and with that we play and create as well. We don't follow the rules like setting goals and milestone after milestone. No, we just create and let things unfold. And that is for everything different, of course. For everybody has different desires, different needs. But to the essence, to get there, you need to be able to break down your conditioning. You need to be able to get in connection with your true essence, with your core, with your emotions and with your desires. And one thing, a lot of people say that if you're so busy with self, that is egocentric, but it isn't. Because one of the most important things about living this beautiful life, and you will get to understand if you work on self, you will understand that it's about bringing purpose and meaning. And that without purpose and meaning, life is nothing. And for us, this really is enabling and inspiring people to get more connected to their desires, to break down that conditioning, to look past by how you identified yourself with your business, your job. Because in the end, when you meet somebody new, the second question you ask probably is, what do you do for a living? We are conditioned to let it be defined by a job or a business, how successful we are. So it's also about getting past the opinions of others, what they think or might not think, because it's all up in our head, we don't even know what they think. With detachment, things get heavy. It's about not getting disappointed or have expectations. It's about appreciation. It's about gratitude. It's about enjoying every single moment of your life right now. And for us, this looks different. We take our kids not to school, and we raise them by ourselves. We play a totally different game than business. We are focusing on our health. We eat very healthy. We are growing our own food in the mountains. We exercise, we play around. We are a lot of outside, fresh air, swimming around in the sea or up in the mountains. And for everybody, this is different. So yeah, what is it about and what does it look like? I don't have a fixed answer. For everybody, it's different. With this whole process, I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of the times I fell into the pitfall of thinking about what others might think or their expectations. And it's not about being perfect or not making those mistakes again. It's about stepping up and learning and transforming time and time again. I am so blessed that we have these beautiful clients where we get to do this together. And I'm so blessed I have these amazing coaches and mentors in my own life. And when I discovered my personal legends, and if you know the book The Alchemist, you know what I'm talking about. We all have this personal legend. It's this purpose. And I used to hate this question, what is your purpose? Because I had no answer. And I always tell people, don't focus too much on it. And that's true, because if you focus too much on it, it becomes a thing.
it should not be a thing, because in the end we all know our personal legend. We all know our deepest and purest desires. Maybe we are just disconnected from it because we are conditioned that way. We are conditioned to think in right and wrong. We are conditioned in what do you want to be, not who are you, because you are already somebody. No, you are conditioned to think that you're not good enough as you are and that you need to change to become something of significance. And as kids, we all know our personal legends. And I see it with Benjamin as well. He gets to play around and be free. And my pivotal moment was when I realized that when I went back to my very first memory, I realized I was destined to live this way. So my first memory was I was 3 years old, and I know this is my first memory because it's a memory I only have. I was only there, and I always played around on the playing field behind the house of my parents at that moment. And there was this little green field, and then there were these bushes that for me were like huge forest, and there were these little walking paths between it. And I was always there hanging around. And at one moment in my life, I was sitting there in this little meadow, and the sun was coming through, and I was laying there, and I was fully there, fully present. And I found this clover 4, the only one in that whole valley. I found it, and the sun was casting a golden hue over my body, and I was sitting there and really being one with nature, thinking about spirituality, energy, and growing. And actually, if I think about all of it, I was so disconnected from the path and so connected to it. Every moment of my life, I was asking about people's desires, what they really wanted in life. I was challenging them on how they thought they should be, instead of thinking about, hey, how do you want to be? And it's so funny, right, that if I look back, if I just followed that path for moment 1, where would I be today? But then again, I probably needed all those steps to be able to enable all our clients, the people around us, to create this content like we do, the programs that we make. Otherwise, I wasn't capable of it. But yeah, my purpose has always been inspiring and enabling others to be these life artists, to really make a masterpiece of life. And is this for everybody? No, probably not, because you have to put in a lot of work. It's about deep and meaningful conversations, about difficult questions, and some people just want to have it light and fun. And does it mean that our life isn't light and fun? Yes, it is. From time to time, it definitely is. But it's also very deep. And I love that about life. And not everybody loves that about life. What is the most important thing? The most important thing is being capable of seeing rainbows and appreciating them in the midst of a hurricane. It is easy to stay in a good state of mind when life is good and everything goes as planned. But it's a lot more difficult staying in a good state of mind when things go bad. And we had our missteps, we had our setbacks, we had tremendous failure. But every time we stood up again, and every time in those failures, we were able to see the beauty of life. We were able to walk in nature, enjoy it. And like, I'm bare feet here now as well. I get to do my job bare feet, and I love it. And to be honest, I'm just amazed about one thing, that we find it normal that we are defined to live in a certain way, that we find it normal that 40 plus hours working is what you should do. I mean, the amount of people that are depressed or having health issues, isn't that a sign that we are doing things wrong? And we as human beings decided to have working days of at least 8 hours. Why shouldn't we say a normal working day is 4 hours, and the people who earn a lot of money earn a little bit less, to give all those people who are just working 4 hours a day a full salary? What if we were able to grow our own food then, because we have more time to spend more time with our kids, so they don't have to go to school the whole day long, only during the morning? We are conditioned, waiting for the support of our government to fix things. And with that, we become dependable. And with that, they can take away our rights. And with that, we are fixed into a mold. And the only thing I dare you to do is to live courageously, to live in line with your desires, and to go beyond how you've been conditioned and what people think is normal or how it should be done. To really just live life. And we call it living life as a life artist. And to be able to live a lifestyle like we are doing and how we have done it, we needed to do three things. And you as well. You need to master your mindset. You need to be in connection with your core so that you really understand your truest and deepest desires. And you need to create it. And this is about taking action and decisive action and how to move forward even when things get tough. So let's take a deep dive. So let's talk about mastering your mindset. And in essence, we need to fully grasp the understanding that life is never happening to you, but always happening for you. And what I mean by that is that you step out of a victim role. So you take control and you find meaning in everything that happens. Even the really baddest thing, you can find something positive. You can find the silver lining. We are so conditioned to always look at the bad things, to always look outside of ourselves, to always find those things that make a situation even worse. But what if you focus only on the positive change? The positive things around every bad situation, because there is always something good as well. We are trained, as said, to look at the bad, but we can evenly look at the good. And what we've done, for example, with the bankruptcy of Gerben's company, there are so many beautiful lessons around it that have given us so many beautiful things in life. And yes, we got death threats. And yes, people were really rough and tough on us. And yes, life, we lost everything. And well, at least Gerben lost everything. And I had to provide for the family financially, even when we were just into a relationship. So it was tough. But if I look at the beautiful things and why lifeling is happening for us, is that this gave us a reset. This was such a hard reset to really sit down and design our life like how we wanted it to be. It gave us such a strong connection in a love relationship that made it that we can handle almost anything and everything. And yes, people left us, people that we thought were friends. But we got to understand who our real friends were and who were there no matter what. And if you focus on those things and not on the bad things, things change instantly. And this is also about how we're ending suffering. Like we have three ways of ending suffering. And with suffering, I mean that people say bad things to you and you feel hurt. Or if you have a bad job review and you feel distressed, or if your business isn't going as you want it to be, or when you have trouble within your love relationship and there is no connection. It's like with every moment you are suffering, you are in pain, not physical pain, but mentally. We can do three things. We can ignore it, like building it up until it explodes eventually, because it will, or we can blame and step into that victim role and saying, no, it's your fault. You're saying mean things to me, so that's why I'm feeling bad. So we can ignore and blame, or we can change our circumstances. Like when you're in a shitty job, meaning that your manager is treating you badly, the job isn't the best thing for you to do, then you can change your job. Right? It's something I did in my example when I was depressed. And changing circumstances says help. And you should always change your circumstances into such an environment that you can perform at best as you can, and that provides you with everything you need when you're able to. But changing circumstances doesn't change you. So in the end, with changing circumstances, it's only a temporary solution. And before you know it, you can end up in the same situation again. And the last thing, the third thing, is about changing your blueprint. And what I mean about that is changing your beliefs, changing your habits, changing your, knowing how to work with triggers and anchorings that we all have. Like before we even were born in this world, we get imprints. we get triggers, we get memories that get locked down in our systems, we see examples, we get taught in right and wrong. It's like we get conditioned fully. And it's there where we can truly change. So when people say something and it hurts you, or when I experience something and it triggers something in me, a hurt or insecurity or frustration, the first thing I do is not point and blame or change my circumstance and walk away. No, I think, hey, this is interesting. Something is happening inside of myself. There is a trigger. And those moments of pain, of suffering, are actually those moments where we can grow. And if you can change the meaning from pain and suffering like something bad to, hey, this is an opportunity for growth, you will start towards change. So changing your blueprint is the strongest and most powerful thing you can do. And it's also a never-ending story, what can be frustrating. But this will light up your life, this will bring more ease, this will bring more sense, this will make actually that no matter what happens, you can handle it, you can stay in a great state of mind. And of course, we have emotions, right? And emotions are the fuel for the brain. And this is something really important to understand and grasp. Like something happens and it triggers an emotion. And that emotion probably has nothing to do with the current situation, but everything to do with something that happened in your past. That is a trigger you put into your body and you connect it to an emotion. So that emotion pops up. And that's the fuel for the brain. But the funny thing about emotions is they pop up in 90 seconds and they can leave in 90 seconds. It's like if you watch a movie and if you're a sucker like me, you can cry about the most romantic things, about the most sad things. And especially if somebody dies or a dog dies, I start crying. Well, if that happens, I can do two things. I can suppress it, ignore it, suppress it, but then eventually it will blow up. So I will start sniffling and crying intensely. And that did happen actually on a date with a guy, something you do not want to have happened. Or you can breathe and just when the emotion pops up, breathe, let it be, and then let it go again. Because it pops up in 60 to 90 seconds, but it can leave in 60 to 90 seconds as well. And the biggest tool is here, breathing, not suppressing, breathing and letting it be. It's like that plastic beach balls we all had, those things you need to blow up and then you can play around with it. We probably all played with it when we were a kid. We pushed it down in the swimming pool and then waited for it to explode and pop up. Well, that happens with emotion as well. The more you suppress it, the more the pressure builds up and the explosion will happen. And if you just let it drift, it will follow the waves and the little waves from the pool or from the ocean. And it's not that bad. So the emotion is the fuel for the brain. So that means that if we can change something there within the emotion, you will not have the instant limiting belief that pops up and is connected to that event, or the behavioral pattern that comes out of that one. So there lies the biggest change, the biggest impact you can make on short term. Because in the end, there is pain and suffering from the past you still have to fix. But if you can change those beliefs and those habits during the day, you will change your whole life. There's this beautiful saying from Lao Tzu. It's like, what's your thought, they will become your words. What's your words, they will become your actions. What's your actions, they will become your habits. What's your habits, they will become your character. What's your character, it will become your destiny. So there lies the biggest change for, well, creating what you ever want and mastering your mindset. I'm going to give you one golden nugget. It's the biggest one we give in all our programs, and we train with this one as well. It's the triad. We learned this from Tony Robbins. And as mentioned, when we decided to really step into our coaching scene, we did two things. One, we needed to train ourselves to really believe that we could do this. And two, we invested in ourselves tremendously. We wanted to learn from the best. In our opinion, Tony Robbins is the best life and business coach out there. So we want to learn from him. So I invested when we had no money really coming in yet. We just started our YouTube channel. I think we had 600 subscribers at that point. And we had no coaching clients because we hadn't even launched the program. I invested 25,000 euros for us to really understand everything and to get to learn from the best and to experience the best. So if you really want something, you have to commit. You have to immerse yourself. And I'm not saying you need to go to Tony Robbins or spend 25,000 euros on your personal development. But I say you have to commit, decide, and invest. And with an investment like that, we were actually saying to ourselves, yes, we can do this. Yes, this is a tremendous amount of money, but we know we can do this. We know that it will come back to us multiplied. Because when we get to be the best coaches in the world, the money will flow to us. And now, isn't it actually about being the best coaches in the world? For us, it's far more about changing people's lives. The more, the better. But to really immerse yourself, you really have to go for it. So the triad, the biggest golden nugget we got from Tony Robbins. It's about where change starts. You have 4 phases of change. You have the habit and the belief. You need to disrupt it. Then you need to create enough leverage to change. Then you need to substitute it with a good habit or a good belief. And then you need to repeat. And repetition is the best skill you can ever learn. You need to repeat, repeat, repeat. Otherwise, you will not have change. When I discovered my biggest limiting belief from my youth, that my father said to me, I don't love you. So I thought I wasn't lovable. And with that, I created that whole behavioral pattern of always finding out what other people's needs are and desires and then creating that and totally forgetting about myself. I worked on myself for a year. I did it by myself. And I wish at that moment there was these new age jobs, as everybody calls it, coaches, but I wish they were there already. Because then it would be more normal and I would have more options. At that moment in my life, there was no one yet in the Netherlands who was doing that. And you only had leadership coaches for CEOs and managers. So I worked on myself for a year, every day. I repeated, and I repeated. So repetition. We do it in the programs as well. We repeat the knowledge we bring over. We repeat how you do a transformation. We repeat. But the first part, how to disrupt, and there comes the triad. Now I'm really going to tell it. So the triad is 3 points. You have physiology, your body, the way you stand. You have words and meaning you choose. And you have focus. And these things will disrupt the trigger and the pattern and the emotion for the fuel for the brain. So what does it mean, physiology? It means that when you notice that you're stuck on the track of that limiting belief and that horrible habit you want to break, disrupt it with your physiology. So stand up and start jumping around. We all probably know the power poses and that it has a tremendous effect on your self-confidence and you can overcome insecurity with only a simple pose. Well, that is physiology. So it will help you to break through any pattern, any limiting belief. It will disrupt it instantly. Let's try. Just jump around. Go on, you can do it. Jump around or just do something like this. Everything will change in a second. Then we have the words and the meaning. Like if something happened, we can choose which words we give to the situation. And when we choose our words very consciously, we can choose a different meaning. So for now, it's cloudy. And I can see, it's cloudy, it's cold, it's autumnally like, I miss summer. I can choose those words. But I could choose also the words like look at the beautiful clouds and the little refreshment it gives in the afterwards summer we had 30 degrees and more. It's now a little breeze, it's fresh. The clouds are beautiful color. It's like this aquarelle canvas painting. And then with choosing those different words, I create a different meaning. So if you have a limiting belief, you can change those words. And then you're already disrupting the pattern. Because suddenly your brain thinks, we're having different words. Oh, okay. Normally I would behave like this. Well, but I have now positive words. I'm giving a positive meaning. Okay, now I will act differently. And then we have focus. So if something bothers you,
just shift your focus to something you will actually enjoy. So if I am in frustration, there is something happening that's really annoying me, I just close my eyes and think of the giggles of Benjamin and Eleonora, our two kids. And with only that simple focus, my frustration is gone. I can only feel happiness and love. And with that, my actions will be different. Because when I am in that frustration mode, I'm definitely not gonna have positive, beautiful, loving actions. But when I think about Eleonora and Benjamin, I will. So the golden nugget here is the triad. It could change anything and everything. So that is it, disrupt. Then you need to have enough leverage. To really change, you need to have enough leverage. So the first time I really made this huge change in my life when I was depressed, and I needed it. It was a necessity. But what we do in our programs is train you to not come to a need or a necessity. That you can actually change at any moment, given moment in time. That you are capable of changing enough leverage. Because there is the biggest problem. Like the little habits we have, the little beliefs, we do not have enough leverage to change because the pain isn't big enough. So how do you create that leverage that pain actually gets big enough? And this is about turning your shoulds into musts. This is about training your brain to actually think, okay, life and the biggest change is in how I do the little things. How I do the little things has everything about the big things. I should change my shoulds into musts. I need to change my shoulds into musts. And it's even better, it are not musts, I get to. There are so many people who don't even get to change their lives towards those that they dream about because they are in horrible situations in life. So leverage. Be honest. If you are struggling with a stupid, stubborn, limiting belief or disempowering habit, do you have enough leverage? Have you created enough leverage for yourself? I always say, if I don't do the things, then I don't really want them. And that also helps. So if I really want it, I just start doing it every single day. Like making my bed. I just do it every single day because it gives me a feeling of accomplishment. It sets me in a good mood and it gives me a boost for the rest of the day. Same thing with gratitude, practicing gratitude in the evening, in the morning. And suddenly, before you know it, you will practice gratitude during the whole day. So leverage. Then you need to substitute. So if you have a limiting belief, like I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I'm never capable of buying a boat, I'm never capable of becoming the best president or the president of the United States, I don't know, whatever. You need to substitute that for a positive belief. The 4 questions of Byron Katie are amazing. It's a very great tool as well. If you don't know it, Google it. C is amazing. There's this beautiful video on YouTube as well about her philosophy in life. And if you have a habit that is disempowering, you need to substitute it as well. Because if you don't do that, you will fall back to it instantly, immediately. You can disrupt it, you can create enough leverage, but then, hey, there stops the pattern and you haven't really made a new loop into your brain because this is neuroscience. We are programmed to follow these constant patterns in our brains, like, okay, step to left, step to right, follow this, follow that, because this is happening, this is happening. You need to change. You need to make a new path. Neuroelasticity. We are capable of this. So if you have a bad habit, you need to substitute it with a good habit. So every time the bad habit pops up, you need to disrupt it, you need to create enough leverage to actually change it, and you need to put in a good habit. Like if you want to quit smoking, you can stop smoking. But if you don't put a new habit towards the smoking habit, which is connected to at least 3 human needs, and we're going to talk about human needs, that fulfill 3 human needs. If you don't have a new habit that fulfills those 3 human needs, you will fall back towards smoking again. So what is a positive, empowering habit you can substitute it with? And then keep repeating it. We need to repeat things at least 30 days. 30 days, a new belief. 30 days, a new habit before it becomes part of our blueprint. Before you break it and it's part of your system. And then if you practice for another 30 to 60 days, it will be in your system forever. And you just have to do this and you can activate it again. So repetition is extremely important.
And then the human needs. We have 6. Everybody has them. And we always have 2 that are very dominant. And if you're not aware of it, they will determine the course of your lives. What you need to find out is what your 2 dominant human needs are. And most people have one of these: variety or certainty. If variety is your dominant human needs, maybe you notice that you can't find balance and rest, then you should focus on certainty. If certainty is your dominant human need and you want to spice up your life a little bit more, you need to shift to variety. But this is like, I can talk a half an hour about this. But these are things you need to think about. You need to really reflect upon how have you programmed yourself. And this is not about becoming someone else. All our programs, everything we do, everything we show here in this video as well, it's not about you changing into somebody else. No, it's breaking down the conditioning so you can actually take and lead by your desires and not by how you have programmed yourself. Connecting to your core, to your true essence, the second thing you need to do, we all need to do. And the first part of this journey, let's call it a journey, is stop identifying yourself with your job or your business. And you probably say, hey, I don't value status a lot and it's not what I'm doing. Well, guess again. If you meet somebody new, what's the first, the second, and the third question you ask? Probably in those 3 questions is, what do you do for a living? We are so conditioned to think, what do you do for a living? When you are in school, the teacher already asks, what do you want to become? Like you're not somebody else already. We are so conditioned to think about what we want to become, and that next thing what we want to become is always connected to a job. So we need to stop identifying ourselves with a job or a business. We stop making that the biggest pillar in our life. No, all facets of life should be equally important. Not only your career, but wealth, health, your family, love, personal growth, contribution, everything. So who are you then? How do you create that blank canvas? You need to stop your limiting beliefs or how you conditioned yourself. You need to create this beautiful canvas where everything and anything is possible. We have this beautiful meditation we always use with our customers, and we challenge them on what is and is not possible. What if anything and everything is possible? What if anything and everything is possible and time and money do not play any role in your life? What would you do today? You can color it as you want it. What would you do today? And what if that day becomes a week? And what if that week becomes a month? And what if that month becomes a year, or 2 or 3 or 5? How would your life look like? With whom would you surround yourself with? Where would you live? Would you live in a colder climate or a warmer climate? What would you do during the day? Where would you like to wake up and how? Would you have kids or no? Would you grow your own food? Would you raise your own kids? What would your hobbies be? Would you want to swim every day or want to climb a mountain? Would you like to paint or write poems? Would you be there for the elderly that are around the corner? What would you do? Who would you want to be? And who would you surround yourself with? So this is really about breaking down the conditioning and start again with that blank canvas. And of course, we have all things in our life that ground us and maybe cage us in a certain way. But I challenge you to think beyond that. Like if they do not exist, and then start designing. And from that point, then take into account, okay, but this is what I, in essence, what I deeply desire. But I have to put these pillars in a well, because I can't just wipe them out. If you have kids, you can't just delete your kids. And what we also notice with some clients, that they are disconnected to their emotions and what they actually want and who they truly are. Then just start by doing the things you enjoy and you do not enjoy. I've learned the most from the things I did not enjoy. And it made so much clear what I did enjoy. That becoming and creating a life you truly desire becomes easy.
and just play and make it fun and light. That's the essence of everything. So start connecting to your core, visualize, meditate, walk in nature, surround yourself with things that you enjoy, and just go out and explore, play and have fun. Connect to your core and essence. And the biggest part, how do you create it? How do you create it? Well, you have to decide and take action. You have to immerse yourself. You have to go out there and break through those limiting beliefs. You really have to master your mindset and just do it. Just create from now that blank canvas. Just go out there and create it. And always remember, it's an ever-growing, organic living thing. Your desires change, you evolve, you grow into something new, you discover new things, you get to this new version of yourself every time. You get kids grow old, they move out of home. You change, circumstances change, everything changes, the world changes. So don't get too much stuck on how it should be. And don't forget that there's a difference between life goals and the lifestyle. Always focus on the lifestyle, not the life goals. The life goals are just momentum, like the bucket list. They give you a feeling of accomplishments and a great success and joy, but they are temporary. A lifestyle is in the everyday thing, in every little detail of your life. That's where the happiness is. And the true happiness is living in a beautiful life. Now, we're going to talk about that later. So, if you work, or in your business, you have projects, right? You make probably these whole sheets with milestones and deliverables and scenarios A, B, and C, and you're fully focused on it when you implement something new or have a big strategy change. And how do you do that with your life? I will believe that life is the biggest project you will have, bigger than any project on your job or business. And yet, we are very meticulously and strategically about projects in business and in our job, but not with our lives. I dare you to be just as committed and just as focused and just as serious with your life as a project within your business or job. It should deserve the same determination and attention. Only create more from flow, create from desires, create from the heart, not from the mind. Do what you actually love. And dare and live courageously, and dare to let go. The most important part, focus on the what. This is what we teach every day because we are so conditioned to work on those milestones and deliverables that we forget we need to focus on the what, not on the how, because we do not know what life has in plan for us. What we did in 2019, we set those 5 pillars in our lives. We set spots, what we wanted to create, the what. And we could never have thought that we end up here in Montenegro to have our first Feel the Breeze Homes boutique resort here, because that was one of our pillars. It was to have an online coaching business, to have Feel the Breeze Homes, places where you could write a book. And now it turned out to be a boutique resort in the mountains, where you can indeed write a book. You never know what life has for you as a present. So let go and go with the flow, and just go out there and create and make it your biggest project in life. And a final, how to live a beautiful life as of now. And there the key is just in gratitude, finding meaning and purpose in the everyday thing. And when we start with our clients working on gratitude in the morning and in the evening and make this a really strong habit and routine, they start writing down things like, I'm grateful that I'm healthy. I'm grateful that we had a beautiful sunny day. I'm grateful that my kids are happy and can go to school. But that's not really gratitude and being in the present and being in the moment. Gratitude is actually not about the big things. Well, it is also about it, but far more about the smaller things, because the big things are built from all the little small details. And you have so much to be grateful for. Actually, when I'm standing here now, I'm so grateful that I can share this with you, only have this connection. And then I have these beautiful clouds surrounding me and the sun is coming through, and I feel the light breeze on my skin. I get a little bit of a goosebump because it's a little bit chilly, but that brings this beautiful energizing feeling in my body. It's like, I'm so grateful for all these things, that I get to stand on this beautiful boat, that Gerben is taking care of the kids right now inside and making this delicious healthy smoothie for in the morning. that I get to be on the sea and in the mountains, that the fresh breeze is here and it brings this beautiful scent from the clouds, from the humid forest around here, from the early humidity, from the morning. Gratitude. Being present, living the moment right now. Because we can get wrapped up around the fact that we want to achieve this and we are still here, that there's this huge gap. And then life is not good. Life is not fun. Life is not fulfilling. So you need to be able to live a beautiful life as of now, to enjoy and to feel grateful. And that's where true change starts. Because if you are capable to stay in a good state of mind no matter what, because it's easy to stay in a good state of mind when things go great, but be able to stay in a good state of mind when things go bad, that's where true change starts. And that's about mastering your mindset and living in the present, living a beautiful moment as of now. So these are the 4 biggest things that you can do to start now to create a beautiful life. A life that sparks you, a life that is in line with your desires, a life that not only inspires you but the people around you, a life that you truly and deeply desire.
Our clients are, let's say, corporate career tigers, startup entrepreneurs, well-established entrepreneurs, because we have, let's say, a whole range of services we offer, from online coaching to one-on-one coaching. And for the daring souls who wants more than success, for those who wants to redefine ambition itself. And what does that mean? That means that you want more in life. That life is, let's say, a whole. It's not only corporate career, it's not only your business, it's everything. All the facets in life, you want to become successful in that. And that doesn't mean it doesn't mean that it will be, let's say, an easy road, because life isn't an easy road. Obstacles will come. It's like sailing. You will face storms. Things will break down. Look at my fingers. I had to work on the generator today because the whole water line was clogged. I didn't expect that, but this is life. Things comes when you don't expect it, and then it's very important is how you handle it, and are you able to stay, let's say, in that good state of mind. And that's all. In the end, everything is about that. Everything is about, let's say, about that state of mind. You can train them. And I experienced it in the last couple of years, how this is a game changer in your life on all facets. When you know how to work on it, how to handle it, then everything and anything is possible. Everything you can imagine is possible. And I always say, your only problem is, let's say, 20 centimeters. Because if you know how to use this, how to use your mind, how to use and to put it in, let's say, to let it work for you, and you know, let's say, how to do that, then life is different. Then life is beautiful. And then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if, let's say, shit hits the fan, because you know how to handle it. And that's the most important. Yeah. So if you feel touched, you feel there's something going on in yourself, and you say, hey, this is I need to reach out, don't hesitate. Just reach out to us. Give us a call, send us a direct message, leave us a comment. Just let us know. We are there to help. For us, it's really, let's say, hanging out and be successful together and create together. And that's what's happening. We already see within our clients that the whole community, they are, let's say, reaching out to each other, because they are all kind of like-minded people, and they want to achieve more in life, and they understand each other better. And they are doing business together, and they are successful. And that's, for Rianne and me, it's fantastic to see how they are connecting and how they are growing. And So don't be afraid, just reach out. We are there, and we are ready to help. Thank you. Have you always been a live artist, Karen? What a question. I think I have always been a live artist. But before 2 years ago, 3-4 years ago, I wasn't aware of it. I was just heading directions without really knowing where to go. But since 3-4 years, I really know that I'm a life artist. Yes, and I always made decisions. Let's say life arty decisions. With buying this boat, with having that goal to start sailing around the world. I was always daydreaming when I was young, and I had my newspaper job. And I was cycling. I was doing, let's say, a lot of cycling because I was outside the city. So I made a lot of kilometers between the houses, and I was always daydreaming about, man, what can I do? What can I do in life? And how would it be to be an entrepreneur? How would it be to buy an old? I remember it, to buy an old, let's say, brand. What is it in the market anymore? But just the brand value and the brand itself, and to buy a brand like that, like a typical Dutch brand, and to give it new life. But also sailing the oceans, driving motorbikes, driving Land Rovers. I was always daydreaming about it. Yeah. So yes, always a life artist, conscious for, let's say, 37 years. No, for 5 years now, very conscious, and yes, very happy to be a life artist. Life-changing moment. Better said, life-changing moments. I had so many in my life. Let's highlight the 3. First, for me, it was, let's say, surviving cancer. It was really a life-changing moment, because that was the moment I decided, let's say, to really go for it. I made kind of a mindfuck, because my goal was to start sailing around the world before my 40th birthday. And then I made a mindfuck to say, no, I need to become a millionaire first. With all the knowledge I have now, it's not necessary to become a millionaire first. But nevertheless, so that was a life-changing moment for me. Then the bankruptcy. The bankruptcy, when I lost everything. I lost the boat, the perfect sense, all my money. But the most important, I lost my mindset. That winning mindset after I survived cancer. And that was, I had to go deep. I had to go deep, let's say, in the darkest craters in my life, in my body, in my being, to really find the answers why, about my limiting beliefs at that moment, my disempowering habits. I never wanted to go there. I never wanted to, let's say, to see it, what events happened in my youth, what kind of imprint they had in my life, and why I made this kind of decisions. And that was a life-changing event. And the third life-changing event is meeting Rianne. And I remember the moment we met, there was a spark, and we only met for 15 minutes because she was getting married at that moment, and I was in a relationship, and we met on a garden party, and we saw each other, and she's beautiful, but at that moment I could see her, let's say, miserability, and but I was intrigued by her. And then many years later we met again, then I saw her again, and then we started talking, and she asked me all these, let's say, life-changing questions, and the really deep questions, you know. And I remember calling her a whirlwind in a pressure cooker. Why? Because I really I never had this kind of questions in my life. No one asked me this kind of questions before. And I was kind of, let's say, at that moment, I was kind of that sweet talker. And I wanted to, let's say, to have this beautiful answer. And I didn't have that beautiful answer because I didn't know the answer. So, it was spinning in my head. And I said, man, you are a lady. You are a whirlwind in a pressure cooker. Yeah. But the moment I met her was life changing for me, and I think the best life changing moment in my life. Personal growth. The journey of personal growth. I never really believed in personal development, personal growth. So I remember when I was in a business club, International Business Association, worldwide, from the US, and we the Junior Chamber International. I was running my companies, and amongst that group of people there were a lot of trainers and coaches, and at that moment I was thinking, trainers and coaches, what do you know? What do you know about, let's say, running a business, having a team, facing challenges, setting up a business, selling a business, going down? What do you know? Yeah. Now I understand. I understand that it has everything to do with personal growth, personal development. Because then you know why you are doing the things you're doing, and what you need to change to change your life and to start living your most desired life. Yeah. So maybe I have to say sorry to all of you. I wasn't outspoken about it, but it was in my mind. Yeah, so my journey of personal growth, Rianne brought to me. For me, it's an eye opener, a big eye opener, and a game changer in my life. Because from that moment, when Rianne was asking me the deep questions and explaining me how the mind is working, and about conditioning, the events, what happened in my youth, and the imprints even before I was born, from generations to generations. That gave me all the insights that I can say I'm a life artist at the moment, and I'm living my most desired life. And life is always happening for you. So this is it's beautiful to have a journey like this, to really get a deep dive into why you are doing the things you are doing, and how you can change it, and how you can, let's say, make it let it work for you, instead of, let's say, when it's blocking you or you feel like you have chains what are holding you back, right? And now when you're free, I remember the question of Tony Robbins, because we did all the courses of Tony Robbins, and I had a one-on-one with Tony Robbins, and then he asked me the questions. Gerben, what are you gonna do now you are free? And I looked him in the eyes and I said, Tony, I'm gonna inspire and enable as many people as possible to start living their most desired life, even after major setbacks in life as I experienced. And from that moment we started making YouTube videos, and and helping and enabling people to start growing. So I made a big mindset shift towards personal growth, and I really embraced it. I'm very happy Rianne introduced it into my life. And she gave me, let's say, an introduction, and then I had that deep dive on many levels. So all the courses of Tony Robbins, but also spiritual leaders, and to have that journey and discovery of many things I wasn't thinking about before. My purpose is inspiring and helping as many people as possible to start living their most desired life. And I I never thought that this would be, let's say, my purpose in life, because I didn't know my purpose. I wanted sailing around the world, but I never thought about, let's say, what's my purpose. And I had this kind of idea to sail around with friends and family, but never thought about, let's say, bringing this meaning to my life. And now we are, let's say, inspiring by our YouTube videos and Instagram stories, and what we are sharing, the stories we share on a daily level. Because one of the things is to put a smile on someone's face every day. So this is for me, this is fulfilling. But what's even more fulfilling is that the participants in our programs, what we can see, people are sailing around the world at this moment because of let's say, our videos and our programs. And you know, when the people sign up for one of our programs, then they are coming in and they have that, let's say, that empty look in their eyes. So they are in that job or in that business, and then they have that empty, not full of life look in their eyes. And the moment they leave, let's say, the program, so for us the Freedom Program, our 6-month program, people completely transform, and they have life in their eyes again, and they feel alive, and they feel ready for adventure, ready for the next step in their life. And although they make, let's say, tough decisions as well, like stopping their business, stopping their career, quitting jobs, quitting relationships. So it's not always, let's say, fun and joyful, but the moment they leave, let's say, the program, and I see that look in their eyes, that they feel the hunger to live and to make something out of it, that gives me fulfillment. So that's my purpose in life, and that brings me joy and fulfillment to see this happening. And what also brings me fulfillment is to live it, right? To live the life, and to really feel it and embrace it. Yeah. How can I be a life coach, a lifestyle and business coach when I'm feeling miserable, right? And I didn't believe it. Let's say, in first instance, anything about personal development and personal growth. And then I realized, okay, so you didn't believe it, and now you are a believer. You went through all these kind of phases. So Harry had cancer, you survived. You believed in that dream of, let's say, sailing around the world, and you went for it. And I achieved it. And then I went down the drain, and I got back again. And together with all the training and the support of Rianne, and all the training regarding personal growth and mindset and all this kind of life experiences, and I was thinking, hey, I set up businesses, I sold businesses, I gained, let's say, money from investors, I bought investors out of the company, I survived in life, Man, this is a lot, and combined with all the knowledge I gained lately, the last couple of years, hell yeah, I'm an expert. I know how to do this. But when you asked me 4 years ago, no. But now, I think since 2 years, I know that I truly claim, let's say, that expert status of being a lifestyle and business coach. yeah, and I see it in the progress I make with my florist clients, that are my one-on-one clients. Most of them are entrepreneurs. And I see how they improve the quality of their life regarding relationship, regarding business. Not only, let's say, doubling or tripling the turnover and gross margins and profit and all that kind of stuff, but in life, relationship with their parents, relationship with their siblings, with their spouse, the quality of their life. So yeah, that gave me really confidence to claim that expert status of being a lifestyle and business coach. Yeah, and I think I'm a good one. I'm a good one at that. Yeah, and now I can say this to you. And I say it with total confidence. I'm good in my job. And I never had imagined in my life that I would say something like this. Never. Like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, no way. Now I'm claiming it. Yeah. Because I see what I can. I see what I can do. I see what I can achieve with our clients to bring, let's say, that life again in their lives. That hunger to feel the breeze. That's why we call ourselves the Feel the Breeze family. That's why I call Mr. Feel the Breeze. This is what I changed, let's say, 2 years ago. Then I called myself Mr. Feel the Breeze. And I remember when I did it. And I said, yes, this is who I am. This is my purpose in life. This is what I want. Next to being an entrepreneur and being a business owner and setting up businesses, but from a total different angle. So now more from a, let's say, investment point of view. Yeah. And also setting up Navi Boutique Resort, Feel the Breeze experiences. Yeah. Yes. So yes, I am a lifestyle and business coach.